Good evening. Welcome to North West Tonight with Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story: the families fighting for end-of-life care after a Liverpool hospice temporarily stopped admitting inpatients.
I feel a bit lost and vulnerable and scared because I don't know what could happen for me and for the effects it'll have on my family.
Marie Curie says they took the decision 8 months ago because of a shortage of specialist staff. Also tonight, built by the community, Blackburn prepares for Ramadan at its brand new mosque.
We live in a multicultural town, and I think integration and understanding each other's faith is key.
We're live at non-league football club Daisy Hill FC with online content creator Aaron Hunt, who got the job here. He took over the club because he was good at the game Football Manager. The club thought that was a credential enough to appoint him, and here he is running the club. They've got a big match tonight. Bit confusing, more later in the programme.
And capturing one of Lancashire's dying trades and the unlikely friendship forged 50 years ago.
I just love Daniel and Georgie, his wife, and they know it because I tell them.
Oh, Stanley. Oh. That's wonderful.
And after a foggy start for many, I have had some beautiful Weather Watch pictures. Look at that gorgeous sky. Thank you, Keith. Join me at the end of the programme. Let's find out how we're doing for the weekend.
Families have told North West Tonight that they fear for their loved ones' end-of-life care since a Liverpool hospice temporarily closed to inpatients 8 months ago. Marie Curie says the decision was made due to a lack of specialist staff. Well, Mo Jackson has terminal cancer and had planned to spend her final days at the hospice, just like her husband and sister before her. Something she fears now won't happen if the unit doesn't reopen. Mairead Smith has been to meet her.
Mo has terminal cancer. She doesn't know how long she has left to live, but she's certain about where she wants to die.
I envisaged being in Marie Curie in a bed with all my family around me for the amount of days that ever it took, and the staff to look after me when needed, and my children could just be there as my children, not as my carer.
Mo's husband Barry died at Marie Curie a year and a half ago, and her sister Anne 6 years ago.
It's a facility that needs to be here for all the families in our community. So if that goes, I've got nowhere. I haven't got another local hospice to go to. I feel scared for my family. I want them to make good memories even though I'm dying. And that might sound a bit like, well, you know, you're looking at rainbows there, but I'd sooner look for the rainbows for them.
Amy is Mo's eldest child. She wants her mum to have the peaceful death her dad had.
Everything's just up in the air now. We had the plan in place, and it was the only little bit of comfort that I had about the future. Please keep this ward open. I need the help, I need the services that were provided for me dad, even more so for me mum.
Today, Mo and Amy met Tess, whose daughter Millie died at the Marie Curie Hospice in 2021, aged just 24.
Her death was beautiful. It was calm, it was dignified. If she'd have died at home, if she'd have died at hospital, it would have been traumatic, chaotic, lonely.
Millie's story was shared in a Marie Curie fundraising campaign in 2023. Tess says she feels let down.
They raised over £500,000 on that campaign. That was 2023. 2024, that ward closed. I feel betrayed, used, exploited.
Save our community!
Just 2 weeks ago, Tess was one of hundreds of people who took part in a protest outside the hospice. Marie Curie say they deeply apologise for the distress Tess is understandably feeling at this time, and they say they're continuing to have discussions with the NHS Cheshire and Merseyside Integrated Care Board, who are legally responsible for commissioning and funding local end-of-life care. And they say services are being offered to people at home while the unit remains temporarily closed. But that is little comfort for Mo.
I will not have a happy death if I die in here. My house is for living in and it's not for dying in.
Mairead Smith, BBC North West Tonight, Liverpool.
Next this evening, the Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, says she will right the wrong done to the north and shift control away from civil servants in London. As part of her plans for devolution, Cheshire, Lancashire and Cumbria are all in discussions about taking on more decision-making powers and potentially having elected mayors. She was speaking at the Convention of the North in Preston, and afterwards she told our political reporter Kevin Fitzpatrick what changes she's planning.
We want devolution so that we can devolve transport, housing, skills, so that we can really rejuvenate our industries all across the north. And I think this is a real opportunity for us to play our part. We're already seeing what mayors are able to do in Greater Manchester. Productivity is above the national average. So with mayors working with local authorities, which we've given them a real cash terms injection to try and really rejuvenate our area. And I'm really proud of the work that our government has set out to do.
It's all right everybody having devolution and mayors, isn't it? But you've got to follow the money, and in the past decade the increase in public spending is higher in the south than it has been in the north. It's just built into the system, isn't it?
Well, we're reviewing the Green Book, which again is a way of looking at how we can get value for money and what we say about that, which will hopefully move more investment into the north. We've invested in the rail, we're investing in the other areas across the region, and I've put more money into local authorities than they've had for a real long time to really give it that boost, working with industry. But we've got to get transport systems right. That's what the Convention of the North came across really strongly to us today, is that transport and connectivity is really important to boost that economic growth we want to see across the whole of the north.
Transport infrastructure takes a long time. What's going to happen quickly that's going to have any impact on local economies?
Well, again, the high-speed rail between Crewe and Manchester was announced in the King's speech. We're already investing in transport. We're seeing mayors taking back control of local bus services across the north as well. So hopefully being able to connect those transports, working on skills as well and housing, will really develop the area so we can bring that business investment. Our business secretary has an industrial strategy that's really linked up with the mayors and the Northern strategy for growth, so that we can really make sure that the north can really play its full part.
Kevin Fitzpatrick speaking to Angela Rayner earlier. Now for some more news from today. A father who killed his 3-year-old son when he accidentally drove into him with a defective farm vehicle has been jailed for a year. Albie Speakman suffered catastrophic injuries when his father Neil reversed into him at a farmhouse in Bury. The judge said Speakman had a history of ignoring health and safety. Albie's mother said her world had been destroyed and she feels completely broken. 2 men have been arrested on suspicion of murder after a woman in her 50s was found dead at a flat in Southport. Police were called to Mells Cop Road on Wednesday evening. A 48-year-old from Kirkdale and a 60-year-old from Ainsdale have been released on bail pending further inquiries. A Greater Manchester police officer who made a racist remark about a colleague has been sacked. PC Scott Dixon used the term last summer in Bury Police Station when officers were discussing an ongoing investigation into alleged discriminatory behaviour. He has since been dismissed and barred from policing. A sheep has died after being attacked by a dog at Ainsdale Nature Reserve in Sefton. 2 sheep have also been left with injuries and another is missing. Sefton Council are reminding visitors to keep dogs on a lead and avoid disturbing the animals. Now, Ramadan is about to start, with Muslims across the region abstaining from all food and drink between sunrise and sunset. There's also a focus on spiritual reflection and prayer. A new mosque in Blackburn has opened just in time for the holy month, and it's the community that has made it all happen, as Molly Brewer reports.
It's a dream that's been years in the making, to build a mosque in the heart of Blackburn, and it's taken a lot to get here.
Initially, it was a bunch of friends riding, cycling for fitness during the COVID period. But then what we realized, more and more people wanted to join. So that led us to have our first initial bike ride, the charity bike ride to raise funds for this particular building. We went to Blackpool and back. Old and young were participating, as young as 16, 17, up to the ages of 50 and 60-year-olds were on that bike ride. And we raised a substantial amount of money. The momentum behind the community was vast.
And this momentum led to more bike rides and even a climb up Mount Snowdon. And finally, this month, the Al Barak Masjid opened its doors.
And one of the things really unique about this mosque is that it's also home to an Islamic museum with several really rare artefacts.
This is one of my favourite pieces from the Ottoman Empire, 150 years old, and as a 17-year-old myself, it's an absolute blessing. Being able to see it, it's an absolute beautiful, beautiful thing to see.
A bit older than you then, if you're 17.
Yeah.
We live in a multicultural town, and I think integration and understanding each other's faith is key. We are welcoming everybody. We would like to welcome all faiths, and we'd like to do it in a manner where it brings true community spirit.
As well as having a museum, the mosque will also be a hub, have a community fridge, and be a place for young people to come.
It's all about getting the youth off the street and try to give them an opportunity to be successful.
The fact that we can all be involved, not even just the elder community, is the younger as well.
I think it's always daunting when people come into new experiences, to see new things and, embrace new ideas. That's always been, I think, humanity's like Kamasha. But nonetheless, this masjid attempts to make that a little easier for people.
Islam is such a loving religion, and it carries so much history. And if we're able to portray that message and bring the communities together, I think we've achieved our objective and our vision.
Molly Brewer, BBC Northwest Tonight.
And happy Ramadan to everyone. Now, 50 years ago, a young, posh, boarding school-educated photographer called Daniel Meadows went to Lancashire to capture the last breaths of a dying industry. He struck up a surprising friendship with the man who ran the engine in one of the last steam-powered weaving sheds. That friendship has lasted to this day, and those photographs will soon go on display in Lancashire. Jane McCubbin has been to meet both men.
In a 2 up, 2 down in Barnoldswick, Lancashire, you'll find 89-year-old Stanley.
How old's this then?
1927. Every house should have a lathe in the front room. It's a thing of beauty.
And in an unassuming gallery in London this weekend, you'll find Daniel.
This is the section where Stanley features quite a lot. He was like the high priest of steam.
50 years ago, Daniel travelled to Lancashire to photograph the last breaths of a dying trade and ended up making an unlikely friendship that would last half a century.
It was the time of the Sex Pistols, Concorde, and all these wonders of modernity, and yet I found myself stuck up there in the middle of the Pennines, and I was next door to something that looked like it had come out of Dickens.
Now the low pressure's starting to talk to us a bit now.
Daniel's camera and microphone captured the sights and sounds of Bancroft Mill, one of the UK's last steam-powered weaving sheds. And Stanley was the man behind the steam that powered 1,000 looms.
Chalk and cheese, you and Daniel.
Yeah. Well, for instance, Daniel was brought up being taught how to play croquet. The first time I ever come across croquet, I thought that it ought to be restricted to consenting adults over 40. I've never seen anything so violent in my life.
There's no point being in the north of England if you're a southerner and trying to pretend that you're anything other than a posh boy from the south, because that's what they call you whether you are or not. He and I would be sitting in the engine house chatting, and then he'd ring home and he'd say, "Vera, 1 extra for tea."
Barnoldswick was virtually a single industry town, and they came in during the night and stole everybody's living off them.
Stanley opened up his world to Daniel.
I'd never met people like this, so to me they were like prophets out of the Old Testament. They were all shaking their stick at the modernity, because they all knew that their jobs were going. They knew it was the end.
But Daniel opened up a new world to Stanley. When his mill was eventually demolished, Daniel introduced him to the man who encouraged Stanley to go to university.
And your mum's reaction when she saw that degree certificate?
She burst into tears, and it's the first time I've ever seen my mother cry.
A trip to London today is beyond Stanley, so he'll wait until the exhibition heads to Lancashire for its 50th anniversary later this year.
I did ask him if he came up, what he would like to say to you?
I hate to think.
I just love Daniel and Georgie, his wife, and they know it because I tell them.
Oh, Stanley. Oh. That's wonderful. Yeah. No, well, I love you too, Stanley.
What a lovely friendship and such lovely photographs, which will be coming on display in Lancashire very soon, so keep an eye out for that. Right, let's move on to sport now. And throughout the week, we have been previewing tomorrow's Super League clash between Wigan Warriors and Warrington Wolves in Vegas. To say that excitement is building is probably an understatement, as 12,000 fans get ready for the historic clash of two rugby league titans.
I'm 77 and it's the first time I've been to Las Vegas, and I'm loving every minute of it. And I can't wait for this experience, for all the teams to come through together. I think it'll be fantastic.
Absolutely amazing. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Glad we're here. Once in a lifetime. Brilliant.
Everyone's a big family. It's all brilliant. We're talking to NRL fans. We're talking to Wigan fans, which wouldn't normally happen, but it's unreal. As soon as this was organised last year, I said we're coming. I don't care. This is on the bucket list. So here we are.
It's all very exciting, isn't it? That's tomorrow. Closer to home, though, Super League, Lee Leopards host Catalan Dragons this evening. There is no Premier League football this weekend as the FA Cup takes centre stage. Manchester City host Championship side Plymouth, while Manchester United are at home to Fulham. There's a Lancashire derby at Deepdale tomorrow lunchtime as Preston, who knocked out Wickham in round 4, host Championship rivals Burnley, who beat Premier League strugglers Southampton in their 4th round tie. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we brought you that remarkable story of the social media personality Aaron Hunt from Bolton, who was approached to take over non-league Daisy Hill. His involvement isn't based on real-life football experience, but his success in charge of Daisy Hill on the game Football Manager, which he streams online to hundreds of thousands of fans. The footage of our report went viral and has helped increase interest in the club, who are tonight expecting a sellout crowd for their North West Counties League match. Ian Haslam is there for us. Hundreds of thousands watch him online. I don't know if there's loads there, though. Maybe not hundreds of thousands. But this does show the power of social media, doesn't it?
It really does, Annabelle. Yeah, welcome to the Plum Factory Stadium here at Daisy Hill. Look at that. These are the ultras. This is enthusiastic support, this. Right, you can quieten down. Don't know if you like, lads. I've got to hear myself think here. So we're here now for Daisy Hill versus Atherton LR in the North West Counties League. As you say, they're expecting a crowd about 10 times more than they normally get here. Aaron Hunt is the chairman. Aaron is
good to see you again.
You too. Content creator, well-known social media personality. Aaron, you've been chairman now for about 2 weeks. It's a remarkable story. It's my favourite one of the year.
Yeah.
How is life as a chairman of a non-league club?
You can't stay away from it, can you, Ian? You love it. It's lovely, yeah. Do you know what? It's just like, look at the community that we bring together, and this is what it's all about. And I've been getting stuck in, I've been getting my hands dirty, literally. I was working on the pitch, I've painted all the lines on the pitch.
Look at the lines, Andrew, the cameraman.
I've done all them myself today, so yeah, I'm getting stuck in, I'm embracing it.
Yeah, how is it different being a pretend football manager in the game football manager to actually running a club?
You actually have to get hands-on when you're doing it in real life. I'm all right, I can sit in the living room at home and do it from the comfort of my own house, but you need to get out and do it.
And tell us what your aims are for this club long term. You want it to go big, don't you?
Yeah, the manager Lee always tells me off when I say this, but I want to get promoted a couple of seasons. At the minute, the excuse is the budget, so if we can pull more people in, get a bigger budget, the excuse is gone then, so let's get up.
Right, thank you very much for now, Aaron. There's so much going on here tonight. There's some well-known TikTokers with millions of followers. JJ's Ice is over there. They're huge. People have been queuing up for about the last hour to go there. We're expecting Angry Ginge, who's from Salford, who's a well-known streamer. He's on his way, as is Steve Bracknell, the football manager from the Royal Oak in Sheffield. We might show those on Monday, actually, if they get here on time. But it was really good the other week. We saw Angry Ginge actually live stream our lunchtime bulletin at North West Today with Eleanor Moritz, and that got 2 million views, I think, online. It's remarkable. We'll now speak to Still Ryan, who's from Liverpool, who's a massive guy on social media. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us why you've come down here to support your mate tonight.
You've seen it. Look at the community. Look at what Aaron's done and the club have done. Non-league football, you've got hundreds and hundreds of supporters and non-supporters showing up for the love of the game of football. Yeah,
and obviously you guys all help each other out, don't you? The content you provide is watched by thousands and thousands of people. Indeed, in the background now, he's already having pictures with his fans over there. You're huge, you guys, aren't you?
I appreciate the compliments, but that's what it's about. We create content to entertain and support, and that right there, it's in the living proof. Look at it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really good. Thank you very much for that, Ryan. We'll speak to you later. And Colin Higson here is from Daisy Hill Football Club. Colin's the kit man and the vice chairman. He's been here for years. What does this mean for a club? We've seen Wrexham transform themselves as a club with the Hollywood takeover. This is something like that in the lower leagues, isn't it?
Oh, this is absolutely unbelievable for this football club. I mean, I am so happy with what's happened. Aaron's just come in. He's transformed this club in a matter of 2 weeks with the energy and the drive that he's got. And we managed to get this huge crowd here tonight, and it's just absolutely unbelievable for a grassroots group.
Colin, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for that. So, Daisy Hill story, we're going to follow this and follow this. Luke Littler might be coming down as well, friend of everybody here at this club. But for now, from Daisy Hill and everybody here, see you later. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much as well, Ian, and thank you to everybody there at Daisy Hill. Very good supporters there. Now, for the latest in our 25 in 25 series, we asked you to tell us about the places and the people that make the North West a great place to live. We all know that there are so many to choose from. Kay has had the difficult job of selecting just 25 to visit through 2025. And many of them you won't have heard of before. This week, she's been to somewhere full of warmth and wonderful people.
Nestled amongst the wildlife of the Three Sisters Reserve in Wigan is the Hamlet, a special place where young adults with additional needs develop lifelong skills.
Welcome to the Nest Cafe. My name is Amy. Please, can I take your order?
Do you like working in the cafe?
Yeah, I really enjoy it, being with my friends. I also love doing the serving, doing the till, working the barista. Yeah, I have lots of fun. All the customers are very friendly as well. I like having chats with all the customers. I really enjoy myself.
And are the cakes any good, Amy?
Oh yeah, they're very delicious.
It gives our young people the opportunity to learn new skills that they can take into their future, but it actually is a community within itself. Our trainees are at the heart of everything we do, and a lot of people say they come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
What does the Hamlet mean to you as a parent?
Oh my gosh, it's just amazing. I mean, you've seen for yourself this morning. It's such a happy place. But for me as a parent of a young person with additional needs, it's having this safe place to come where they feel valued and they do something meaningful and purposeful. Hey, this is Ace.
A present for you.
I'd like to introduce you to Dawn and to Sammy.
Arts and crafts are just one of the many activities on offer.
Has it worked?
Alongside learning practical skills, including retail. Hi, girls. Well-stocked corner shop.
Very well stocked.
I do like a good biscuit.
2, 3, and then we want 4.
As well as a cafe and shops. Who knew that the Hamlet had its own radio station? And they've been telling me all morning that I could do with improving my presentation style. Hi, guys. Come on, then. You've got some top tips for me. What are they?
Speak smoothly and clearly.
Speak smoothly and clearly.
Say after me, the Hamlet is the best.
The Hamlet is the best.
Perfect.
Is it? Perfect. Have I got a job?
Yes.
Yes! By gaining life and practical skills, it's an enjoyable experience for all, and the trainees are very vocal about that.
We are the Hamlet. We're determined to succeed.
Oh, such a brilliant place, isn't it? You look like you did.
Wonderful morning.
Yeah.
And I can highly recommend the cafe and the shops, did a spot of shopping.
And can people still write in with their suggestions?
Absolutely. If you do want to get in touch, then just email nwt@bbc.co.uk. As you said, Annabelle, 25 this year. We've had 3, so plenty more to come.
Loads more, yeah. Right, what's the weather doing?
Gorgeous! I took the most beautiful photograph before, but I've chosen your pictures, not my own. Now, this morning, cast your mind back, look at this incredible photograph. Greg took it. Obviously, there's a Blackpool Tower shrouded in that early morning fog that did lift and clear. Beautiful, then, blue skies, and it really did feel pleasant. Thank you so much for sending in your photographs. If you would like to join me on socials, you can follow me there, or, better yet, become a BBC Weather Watcher. Let me know what it's like where you are. Now, a slight different headline, because I feel happy because it's March tomorrow and there are a couple of important dates to remember. Meteorological start to spring is tomorrow, equal amounts of day and night on the 20th, and then the clocks go forward. So hopefully that will put a spring in your step, as will the weather for most of us this weekend, all thanks to high pressure just clinging on. This week, weather front is going to introduce more in the way of cloud as we head through tomorrow afternoon. But for most of us, it's going to be a dry and relatively fine weekend and into next week as well. Now, if you're out and about through this evening, big coats on, still the risk of a few patches of fog, particularly across parts of Cheshire and Merseyside, with clear skies elsewhere and a light breeze that is going to set us up for another frost tonight. Temperatures dropping down to freezing or just below. I've had some farmers in Wigan getting in touch to say, is it good weather for ploughing? Yes, but it will be a cold start and frosty too, so just give it a little while. The sun will soon do its magic. Away from the Isle of Man, where you can see that cold front starts to introduce the cloud. Thicker cloud could always produce the odd spot of rain, but I think for most it'll be dry. Top temperatures really coming in at Chester, 11 degrees, 52 in Fahrenheit. The breeze remains fairly gentle. And that's where we'll see the best of the sunshine across more southern parts of the northwest right throughout Saturday. And then into Sunday, well, it looks like it's going to be another mostly dry and fine day. Quite misty and a bit murky to start the day with a fair amount of low cloud. That's going to lift and thin and it'll break up for some, so we will see some spells of sunshine. The winds will stay gentle, and in the best of the sunshine, well, really it is Chester faring best, 12 degrees, 54 in Fahrenheit. And then we go into the next working week, and actually it's looking really quite pleasant. If anything, temperatures are going to start to pick up a little bit, so we're getting to 13 or 14 degrees, and at this stage anyway, it looks like it's going to stay dry and fine, Annabelle.
Beautifully done.
Thank you.
Your friend at the radio station at the Hamlet will be proud of you.
Clear and concise?
Clear and concise,
Thank
yeah.
you so
No, that
much.
was very good advice, wasn't it?
It was. One to remember, Annabelle.
It is one to remember. We should all do it. Thank you very much. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Take care.